For a lost little girl, the world seems a very scary place. Stephanie Jacques is just 10 years old. She believes her parents are dead.
We have reports that she has no parents. So we're going to go on the assumption that she doesn't, but we're going to try and ask softly, calmly, as many questions as we possibly can, and just try and get what we can out of it. And we'll move from there.
Ramsey Ben Akker is with the Heartland Alliance. He's partnered with UNICEF locating and helping kids. The problem in Haiti right now is that no one knows exactly how many kids need help.
It's an incredibly difficult problem to gauge. There's been 480,000 people who've left the city in the past less than a month. We're almost at 1 month since the earthquake. And I mean, just tracking the number of deaths and tracking the migration has been difficult enough, but then trying to figure out how many children have been abandoned or orphaned is a whole other level of problem.
Stephanie thinks she may have family elsewhere in Haiti.
She said she has family from Okap. Her father was from Okap. She had a grandmother, but you have to ask the kids different questions to kind of get there.
So these are essentially all pieces of the puzzle that will be used to try to trace whatever family she has.
She had an aunt, her mother's sister, that lived in Port-au-Prince too, but lived in a different area. So she has a few relatives out there.
Reuniting Stephanie with her relatives may take weeks. For others, however, it can be a matter of days. But time is running out.
If we wait a month or two, especially the little one, then it's too late to trace. Nobody knows where they are, they can be trafficked. So the single most important protection we can offer separated children in emergency is to find them and to register them. Before a separated child is registered, he or she does not exist. Rethink of that. That child has no legal existence. Why? Because outside of the environment, the child can be stolen. Nobody's going to look for him. They don't even know he's there.
Marie Delasoudier is with UNICEF and is searching for the family of a 5-year-old boy named Kenzie Charles, who's being treated on the USS Comfort.
I think they want to show me the house.
Marie thinks she's found Kenzie's parents. They've believed that their child died in the earthquake. After a short interview, Marie shows the couple a series of pictures of Kenzie. They know instantly it's their son.
Okay. So the little boy is just on the USS Comfort, which is actually just visible right over there.
The whole time, the whole time, they could see him every night, and they didn't know.
When you see him, what is the first thing you're going to say to him?
Oh, I love you.
It's great.
Today must be a good day.
Fantastic. It's kind of keeps you going.
A happy ending, a new beginning, a glimmer of hope in these days of despair.
And UNICEF hopes to reunite that family on the USS Comfort, where that little boy is staying in the next day or two. We'll keep you updated on that. Sanjay Gupta joins us now. Yesterday, we brought you the story of a man pulled from the rubble. His family said he'd been there since the earthquake. What's the update on his condition?
Yeah, I mean, speaking of hope, I mean, it's quite an extraordinary story there as well. The update is that he's doing pretty well. I mean, sometimes the second day can be even harder in terms of medical triage than the first day. Can you hydrate someone well? Can you make their kidneys start to work again, not cause heart failure? All those things went well for him today. He did not require a breathing machine. He's still talking, a little bit confused, but was asking for food. In fact, they were giving him chocolate. That's what he was craving for some reason. You know, one of the things he said, Anderson, was pretty haunting, though, and it's this whole idea that we're in a search and recovery mode, not search and rescue mode. And he talked about the fact that he heard these bulldozers coming in and
working nearby,
and he knew what that meant. He knew that the lots were being excavated and put into dump trucks, and he was worried that would be him as well, excavated and put into a dump truck. But he's doing fine. He has 2 children, and it was today that his mother, the children's grandmother, told them that in fact their father was alive. She wanted to wait a day, so they now know. They had thought for the last month that he had died.
In terms of just big picture medical condition, how are things?
You know, the acute phase, to borrow a medical term, is been going a lot better than it was when you and I first.
Acute means emergency, like.
Yeah, acute in the short-term sort of phase. You know, the life-saving part of the heroic part of all this is gone a lot better. People are getting a lot more of the procedures that they need. Not perfect, but better. The real problem now, I think, is sort of what happens to these patients after they leave. You know, an amputation patient back in the States would be in the hospital, then on an ICU perhaps, general care floor, getting rehabilitation afterwards, getting prosthetics fit and then refit again if they're growing. Most of that is simply not going to happen. I mean, you were here today, Anderson. I mean, that's where a lot of this is. These patients are going to end up.
We're going to have a lot more with Sanjay throughout this hour. Sanjay went over to a general hospital and looked at the threat of tuberculosis. They have a special area over there for that. We'll talk about that ahead.